If you do not have a problem with public speaking, but whenever it's time to explain your work, to give a talk, give a presentation, you always sort of have this feeling of, I could have done better, I don't know, I'm not sure they understood what I wanted to say, and so on. I'm here to tell you that your presentation skills are not the problem. The actual problem is how you structure your work and how you think about structuring your work and presenting it to other people. Let me explain this a little bit more. So recently I talked to a client of mine who explained that they weren't shy or an introvert. They didn't have this problem of standing in front of an audience and speak, but they always had this feeling of this talk, like people are bored. They don't want to listen to me. What's the problem? And the problem actually was, after we were talking a little bit and they explained to me the situation, and the problem that we realized was exactly that. So how they structured the talk so that people just didn't want to follow. And let's be honest, nowadays where the attention spans are super short, everyone has a super short attention span. I believe everyone is on social media way more than we should be. But the problem is that when we are bored, we instantly have this gratification of scrolling through our emails or social media or whatever. But when you need your audience to listen to you because you are maybe applying for a promotion or for funding or for something like that, you cannot afford them losing their attention. You have to make sure that they are there with you. So how do you do that? The thing people tend to do is to explain more, like try to give them more because they feel that more is more. And don't get me wrong, more is more in some situations. However, when you're talking to an audience that isn't as technical as you are, which is, I would say, 99% of the cases, we are rarely talking to people who have the exact same expertise and interest as we do. So what can we do to make that process easier for them? And one good trick that works and how to structure the entire thing is actually learning how to connect your work to something they already care about. For example, if you're talking to stakeholders, chances are they do not care about the exact algorithm or the exact protocol that you build and what it consists of and every single detail of it. They probably care much more about the money, saving time, how can they deliver the product much faster, and so on. So once you know what they care about, your job, and this is the actual trick, your job is to connect what you are doing to what they are interested in. Because I would say that the only way to get their attention and then keep it, which is, I would say, even harder, is to make sure that you're talking about something they care about. And that way you save yourself from two headaches. First of all, forcing them to care. Like, how do you force people to care? You cannot, simply. So it's much easier to talk about something they already care about. And secondly, when you speak about something they already care about, they are 100% guaranteed to be listening. So you really don't have to put that effort, like constant effort into, okay, but this is why it matters. This is why it matters. So what you want to get straight from the beginning is to really make them see how your work directly impacts the thing they care about. The funding, the money, the time, the protocols, the product delivery, client experience, user experience, and so on. So that's your job. And that's the real trick. I believe that once you get that straight and once you know exactly what you're supposed to say so that it really resonates with them and with the thing they care about, you solved all of your problems. And this is a skill, of course, that requires practice. But once you get it, it really saves you so much time, because think about how you are talking to people. So you're talking to people all the time, and whether we like it or not, we are selling our work the entire time. We are selling it to our collaborators, to colleagues, to stakeholders, to management, and so on. So you train your brain from this, what I call cause-consequence mindset, to this impact mindset. Like, how does this work? This specific algorithm, this specific code, this specific protocol or experiment impact directly what the person who is listening to you cares about. Having said that, I would really like you, for the next talk and the next presentations that you are about to build and craft and create and give to your audience, think about that. Like, what is it that those people care about, and how can I make my work go more in line to that? And I guarantee that you will see instant reaction from them. You will see that your audience will not fall asleep after slide 2, and you will see that they will simply care more to listen to you. So, having said that, if you want to practice that, because it's a skill, of course, and it requires practice, it requires training. The same way you go to the gym, the same way you learn how to play the piano, the same way you have to train your mind into thinking this way instead of thinking that other way that we are trained to think as STEM professionals. If you're interested in this kind of training, this is exactly what I cover in my coaching program. So, if you're interested in something like that, I will leave a link down below where you can schedule a completely free intro session with me where we can talk about exactly that. Like, what is it that is currently you're currently struggling with when it comes to communication in your career, and how can you really get that promotion that you've been working so hard for, get that funding that you deserve for your brilliant project and your brilliant idea, and so on. Because at the end of the day, it boils down to how we express ourselves and how we really sell the work that we are doing. Because it's not, you can sell the same thing, you can explain the same thing to the stakeholder or to your colleague, but the way you would do so should and has to be different. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, see you next time in another video. Bye bye.